you for being here, and thank you to all the parents, grandparents, aunties, big cousins, little cousins, play cousins. Thank you guys, because much as was said before, these graduates being here, you all being here in this moment, a big reason you are here is because of the family now that is represented in this room. So family, friends, please give yourselves a round of applause, because you got these young people here. I know at times they got on your nerves. I know they worked, only black people, we know exactly how many nerves that we have, right? And I know they worked the last one many, many times, but all of that hard work, everything you poured into them, got them to this moment. And to the graduates, congratulations. Really soak in this moment, because it is one of the more unforgettable experiences of your life. And so I hope that you appreciate everything happening in this moment, everything that is happening to you all today. Please tell me I got some Detroiters in here. I got a couple. What up, though, to all my Detroiters that are here? I know, we gonna be everywhere. We international. Now, for those of you who don't know about my background, I did go to a PWI, I'm sorry. Went to Michigan State University, I know. And so our graduation was a little bit different. Ain't had as much flavor, curl, not quite. We rolled a little differently. And so I have a few friends that attended this fine university, and they told me about the chant. So, look, we ain't at a wake up in here. I need y'all to do the chant for me one time, because I'm not gonna be able to do this ever again. Can y'all give me some GS? Y'all, are we gonna set it off in here or what? All right. So on the count of 3. Oh, the band, like, y'all gonna kick in with me? Let's make this a family experience. All right, band, so let's go. GS, GS, GS. Oh, wait, we gotta wait on them. Okay, y'all let me know. I'm sorry, I'm new to this. All right, come on, band. Yeah, everybody stand up. We here to celebrate, forget all that. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's right, get your phones out, record it. He's a Q, so yeah, I knew it. I knew y'all were here representing, so I thank him for giving me that inside intel. And I've seen you guys perform before, so I know y'all get down. All right, I won't keep you guys too long, because I know you guys got a lot of celebrating to do. And despite that very wonderful celebratory moment we just had, I'm gonna start off a little bit more somber. I actually died when I was 7 years old. And just so you know, y'all not crazy. This is not a hologram. But I'm telling you this story because this is rooted in how you can find your purpose early, and how that purpose stays with you through the rest of your life. I happened to find mine before or while I was still losing some of my baby teeth. So here's how I died. Me, my mother, and my stepfather, we were on our way to see E.T. And that is a movie that was made before the parents of many of you graduates had even met yet. But my parents and I, we were driving on the service drive in Detroit, and at one particular intersection, the light turned green, and my stepfather, he inched his Camaro forward, and just as we crossed the intersection, another car driven by an 84-year-old man slammed into us. And later, I would learn that all of our fates were intertwined because this older man had accidentally hit the accelerator instead of the brake. Now, I flew out the back window and landed on the trunk, and all I remember about that accident is that I was just happy and excited to see E.T., and then everything just went pitch black. Now, when I woke up, a few days had passed. I was in a hospital bed. My eyes felt very heavy, and I could tell that something wasn't quite right. Now, at some point, my mother showed me what I looked like in the mirror. Half my head was shaved off. My eyes were both black. I had a deep red scar over my right ear, and I just looked hideous. I looked like something out of a horror movie. Now, according to her, while I was being transported to the hospital, we were in the ambulance together, I kept telling her that Mrs. Cooper, my old babysitter, wanted me to come and go to the store with her. The problem with that is that Mrs. Cooper had been dead for a few years. Now, when we finally got to the hospital, I flatlined. Your girl was up out of here. I had suffered a skull fracture that caused my brain to swell, and it had run the risk of some very serious bleeding that essentially was going to kill me. Now, I've heard other people talk about their near-death experiences, but theirs was not like mine. I didn't see any bright light. I didn't see Tupac in a white suit at the piano with Danny Boy singing I Ain't Mad at You. That did not happen, and for those who don't get the reference, just look it up on YouTube. There was nothing at all to indicate that I was indeed dead. Now, as a 7-year-old, this wasn't something that I could fully process, but as time passed, as I grew personally and professionally, I found myself returning to my near-death experience because it was the clearest indication and example I had ever received that I was here for a reason. Now, one of my favorite gospel songs that they used to sing back in my home church back in Southwest Detroit was a song called God Didn't Bring Me This Far to Leave Me. Now, all of you out here in the audience, whether you believe in God or not, you are here for an ordained specific reason. You are in this moment right now because you were supposed to be in it. It didn't happen by chance. It didn't happen by accident. It happened because it was meant to be. Now, that does not mean you didn't put in hard work to be here. It doesn't mean you didn't have to overcome any obstacles. It means that something led you to this moment, and you would be cheating yourself and the family members here who have sacrificed so much for you to be in these seats if you didn't spend the rest of your life adhering and figuring out what that purpose exactly is. Now, I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100, a buck, whatever denomination you want to throw in there. Like all of you, you know, I see a lot of the conversations on social media. Some of them make me smarter. Some of them make me dumber. You know, like the 50-50 conversation and the $200 dates. I know some married people in here, and anybody married can tell you it is not 50-50, it's 100-100. All right? Actually, it reminds me of something my yoga teacher used to say all the time, which was, give me 100% of your 10%. And so a lot of that is that mindset. That was just a free nugget, no cost. But one of the most disturbing conversations I see online is about the value of a college degree. Now, you got a whole lot of people who ain't never set foot on a college campus, ain't never even watched an episode of A Different World, they ain't never seen Drumline, And they fighting for their life every day on social media, trying to figure out when to use there and there, as in T-H-E-R-E versus T-H-E-I-R. You got people whose teacher used to hand them back their papers face down. But they arguing up and down everybody's timeline, telling you that college degrees ain't worth it. Now, if you go to trade school or the military, I am not knocking those. Those are incredible career paths. And you can still do those things and still go to college, right? However, ain't it funny how when black people start getting their degrees, when black women start rising in education, that suddenly those degrees ain't worth it? Ain't that funny how that happened? We start getting our stuff together. We start graduating. You see the statistic about black women having more advanced degrees than anybody else, and then suddenly those degrees, they ain't worth it. Funny how that works. You got HBCUs across the country experiencing record enrollment, and suddenly the narrative is these degrees ain't worth it. We have powerful people, Elon Musk, the CEO of NVIDIA, telling young people college is overrated, but they got their degrees, don't they? Are they sending their kids to trade school and telling them trade school? Are they telling them to get their CDL? And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But notice that the very richest people, the ruling billionaires, are telling people degrees aren't worth it, and then you look at their life. Now, as I said, nothing wrong with those things, but the main reason they unleash these bots to tell us college is overrated is because they want us in the mindset that we can only be laborers and never owners. They want to keep us in that mindset that we're here to serve them. They're trying to keep us out of their exclusive club because they know our talents, our brilliance, exposes them for what they truly are, which is mediocre. See, the reason you made it to this auditorium, graduates, is because you just passed one of the most toughest, arduous, common sense tests you may ever take. College is about learning. It is certainly about getting better at your craft. It is about developing your critical thinking and setting yourself up for a robust financial future. But by earning this degree, you also show that you are disciplined, that you can stick to a commitment, that you believe in yourself, and that you can work with other people, learn from them, and that you can be in community. So don't ever let somebody disrespect or downplay what you just accomplished. To quote that great urban philosopher Nas, hate is just twisted admiration. They hating on you because they can't do what you just did. But earning this spectacular degree is just the beginning of a long and hopefully very rewarding journey. Y'all are just really scratching the surface. But as you level up from this day forward, do not forget that your responsibility to community remains. Now listen, I'm all about getting a bag. And I've been blessed enough to get some pretty big ones. But don't ever let chasing a bag become your whole personality. Don't ever let your life be defined by material possessions. Because when it's time for us to leave here, we will not be defined by the houses we bought, the cars we purchased, the drip we wear. To quote another great urban philosopher, Denzel Washington, you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. How we will be remembered will be based on the people that we have helped, the lives we have changed, the things that people say about us when we're not even in the room. If the best thing in my obituary is that I was an anchor and an analyst for ESPN for 12 years, then I have failed. At my funeral, 200 years from now, I want the people that give remarks at my funeral to talk about how a phone call that I made helped them get an opportunity, or how some advice that I gave them helped them better position themselves, or how I listened when they needed a friend or a sounding board, or how I encouraged them on a day when they were full of self-doubt, or how they saw me in a space where they didn't think we belonged, and by seeing me there, it gave them the confidence that they did belong. Those are the things I want to be remembered for, not for awards, not for sometimes hanging out with some pretty cool, famous people, not even for appearing on Power a couple times, the Tariq Power, not the Ghost Power, just so y'all know. Your service, your reputation, and how you help your community, that is the most important thing that matters in the bio of your life. Now, in closing, because I said I didn't want to keep you guys here long, as you go forward in starting another successful path, the best advice that I can offer you are some nuggets of wisdom that were given to me by others, people that I respect, people that I admire, and some of these names you might recognize. The late, great Kobe Bryant, he told me, there is no such thing as failure, because when something doesn't work out, you just get up and try again. Thought Kobe was trying to pull a little Jedi mind trick on me, but he really did believe that. This, of course, was after he clowned me ruthlessly because I had never seen Finding Nemo. And unfortunately, I still haven't seen it. It just is a quick tangent about Kobe, who I got a chance to spend some time with, is that I remember saying to him, this was a year before he retired, and I remember telling him, I said, hey, I think you're gonna be pretty miserable in retirement because we all have seen him play, we know what basketball means to him. And he laughed and he said, I promise you I have another calling of something I wanna do. I think maybe 2 years later, Kobe won an Oscar. So once again, Kobe was right. From the incredible Denise Denard, who is also known as my mother, she once told me, don't let anybody tell you who you are. A lot of you will go on to some wonderful professional opportunities. Some of these will be at big places, some of them may even be in small places. It doesn't matter the size of the place. Who you are, your integrity when you walk through that door, make sure it's the same when you leave. Don't let a place change your makeup, your character, or get you outside your character just because you're in a certain position. And this from the incomparable, or incomparable rather, the brilliant, the forever father, teacher, mentor, and coach, Eddie Robinson, who never told me this personally, but it's probably my favorite quote from him. Win without bragging, lose without acting a fool. How you handle success matters just as much as how you handle failure. We have this idea that money makes you. Money does not make you, it makes you more of what you are. So how you behave with the money is the same way you behaved without it. It's a character test in there. And last but certainly not least, and this comes from me and not from some of the wonderful people who I've quoted. Don't ruin your credit. Please, for the love of God, don't ruin your credit. I tell you, when I left college, my credit score, I don't even want to tell y'all what number it started with, but it wasn't a 6, 7, or 8. Just know that. If you walk out of college and your credit is still in good shape, my God, keep it there. Because trust me, you can save yourself a whole lot of fighting and battles and scraping and all of that in your 20s and beyond if you just set some good financial habits right now. So I don't care how many t-shirts MasterCard is offering you, please don't do it, okay? I got a bunch of t-shirts, or I had a bunch of t-shirts in college, and a whole lot of bad credit, because I went for that t-shirt gimmick every time they set up on campus. So keep your credit clean. I just want to thank you once again, class of 2025, for indulging me. I am so proud of all of you. Maybe in this moment you don't have a clear idea of what you've accomplished, because maybe some of this is overwhelming. You're still trying to figure out, what am I doing exactly after here? Where am I going? Where am I living? What job am I going to have? Some of you are still putting out your resumes, and that's all a part of what is the grind that you are going through. But do realize that in life you're going to make mistakes. There's no mistake that you can't recover from. And so don't look at these next big decisions that you have to make about your future as, if I get this wrong, then something terrible is going to happen. Don't let it fill you with too much anxiety. Trust me when I tell you, you are in the place that you need to be. You are enough. You don't need to be more. You need to be exactly what you are. And what distinguishes you from everybody else is that you're you and they're them. You always you. You is always great. You always wins. Always, always bet on you.